I'm also streaming on Twitch as well as YouTube. Simul streaming, as it's known. Don't think it's known as that. Simulcasting. Either way, regardless, whether you can see me, whether you can't, whether this is real or just a fantasy, you could not be more welcome. You could not be more welcome. I mean that with the utmost of respect. My name is Andy Line, as I mentioned. This is Chess Please. For those of you who are new to the channel, you are, as I mentioned before, unbelievably welcome. I am just showing a little bit of consternation because I'm trying to get this thing off the line, and I think it's good on Steam, but I don't know if it's happening for us on YouTube. So with that in mind, maybe it is live. Who's to say? Let me just double check here. This is good content anyway. This is riveting stuff. I think we might be live. In which case, I'll stop rabbiting on. Rabbit in a hat trick. And I'll load up an old game of chess. So, for those of you that are here, first time, last time, hopefully not the last time, but if you are here, thank you for stopping by. We are going to be playing a couple of games of chess. Oh, Pompe, you're here. I'll give you a quick game, all right? I'll give you a quick game. I'm going to start off with one game of bullet chess, and then we're going to get into some not so bullet chess. This is a quick start off game, just to get the juices flowing, just to make sure that we're we're all good in the hood. I hope everyone is keeping well out there. Sorry, whenever I play bullet chess, I get super frantic. That's check, so we won't do that. I'll take there. All right. He's free to move. Don't know. That's not a pin anymore, but we will take. We'll do this, and we'll go for this jobby. Right, opening done. We'll come here. That's fine by me. Chicken on a raft on a Monday morning. Oh, what a glorious sight to see. Don't know what I'm doing here, but that's okay. That's fine. Time is of the essence. We'll take there. We will go here. We'll go here. We'll tuck back here. The pre-move there. Can I get a shout out? Vic Nico official YouTube. You can get a shout out. I do not know what I'm doing here, as is painfully obvious, but you can get a shout out any day, all day, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Oh no, my rook and the game. Okay. Gonka Pump, thanks for stopping by. Hope I'm pronouncing your name okay. But if we're of interest, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to swap on over to Senior Rapid Games, if we're okay. So, over the course of the last week or so, we've been doing all right. We have been doing A-okay on the rapid side of things. Was on a quest to get to 1400. Actually got right into the 1400s. We're into 1446. Am I still chatting with him? I want to. Okay, better get started here. Conky Pump, if you are listening, if you're watching, I am going to crack into a rapid game here. But if we want to play rapid, I am definitely good to play there as well. We're playing Ruderus, who's 1470 rated from the Czech Republic, Czechia, as it's known these days. And we are going to start off with our Bishop's Opening, as always. Again, if you're new to the channel, what I try to do is explain the old moves that I'm making. Again, knight move out here. We want to block, we want to defend this piece, but also a bit of development possibilities as well for ourselves. As always, opening couple of moves of the game, you're looking to get all your pieces out from the back rank, particularly your knights and your bishops. You want to get a good chunk of the center under your control. That's the key real estate. And yeah, you don't want to lose any pieces, certainly not any pawns or any pieces early doors in the game. It's gonna put you right on the back foot. And that's okay, they'll take my bishop. We anticipated that. Wouldn't have minded that happening after we were castled. Namely because it just creates a bit of exposure for our king. But overall, I think we're doing alright. We're going to launch in here. Vic Nico official YouTube. You're getting a shout out because you're my very first comment on Twitch. I have a feeling it potentially might be a bot, but thank you for the follow. Either way, if you're not a bot, apologies for the disrespect, but thanks for stopping by. If it is a bot, impressive coding. If it's not, good to see you, pal. You're my new brother. But yeah, okay. We're playing a little fast here. A little fast and loose, we might say. What happened there? They took a pawn with that knight. This looks like some sort of trap. If I take here... I can take, but not to any sort of degree of vile means. So this player is pretty strong, I would say. So I feel like this is all pretty calculated, but it feels like we've just won a pawn. Now our structure is pretty damaged, that's fine. Now we can cast. Alright. Hair is still a disgraceful length, if I'm honest. But I'll survive. I will survive. What can we do here? I feel like if we kick out this pawn, bishop could take. We take with the pawn. Queen comes storming in. We're on the ropes, but we're another piece up. I think something like this is actually quite handy. Removes the pin from this knight. This knight's now free to move. It's still defended 3 times actually. But it lets me do something like let's see now. This is good. Knights on the rim, pretty grim. You don't want to spend too much time over here. Ideally, I'd want to be sort of locking in somewhere like this. Maybe tease out a couple of these pawns if they are so inclined and start an attack from elsewhere. That's the theory. Let's see the practice. LinkedIn is down at the moment, I believe. They'll get it back up and running soon, folks. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, it was an odd occurrence. But in any eventuality, I hope everyone is doing okay. I hope everyone's feeling okay. I know I was feeling pretty weird today, and I didn't like it. So hopefully a bit of chess here will keep spirits high. So I think what I might like to do is something similar to what they've done here. Actually, I'm kind of contemplating queen in here now. It can get kicked out pretty easily. Like this or like this. What's more likely is a move like that. Bishop up or maybe even bishop back. But I think it's pretty menacing. So let's just see. If all fails, we can drop back here. One thing about our position, we do have the pair of knights. They have the bishop. But what's certainly in our favor, I would say, is they don't have a dark square bishop, which means that only their queen can really offer up any sort of threat on the dark squares. Meaning, if we place more of our pieces on the dark squares, they're in less danger. That's one thing to be aware of. We are a pawn up and we're attacking here. I can't quite see. They're very, very solid in here at the moment. At this stage, I think I am just going to drop on back to here. If I were they, it's hard to say what I'd do, but I feel like I am starting to get a few of my pieces into the fray. Let's just protect here. But I found a term from our favorite streamer, Daniel Naroditsky is his name, who is a fabulous, fabulous chess player. He calls it biting on granite. If your bishop is just staring down the front of a pawn chain, there's no real. Normally there's like 3 in there, but if it's at least 2 like this, a bishop like looking down that diagonal is generally very, very weak. It's not a good position for that bishop to be in. And as such, you try to re-engineer it somewhere. Let's try something like. No, not yet. I was thinking knight in here. Just going to build a bit of pressure on this square. But I actually think I want to build even more pressure on that square. My knight wasn't really in the game, or my rook wasn't really in the game out there. Didn't get its head in the game. So in here, it's a more warm place for it. I feel like they're going to try and do something similar with what they got going on. I actually think we can just take here straight away. This bishop's not in play because I'm staring down the barrel of his king. So, yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for gold, as they say. Again, worst comes to worst. Knight takes, rook takes again. Or sorry, rook takes. Hear that. Let me do that again. Rook takes, maybe king moves, maybe rook comes across. Any number of different things. But we're at least breaking even here. So this is what's happened. Gotta be conscious. Any king move here frees up this pawn for an attack or any threat on my queen that makes me move that. So I don't want to keep my rook. Do we take this trade? Take this trade and drink from it. Any sort of nifty little tactic we can do here. So much. We do have some knights pretty well coiled and ready to strike. I think we just take here potentially. Now this gets quite fun. That wasn't a great move by me, but not many of them are. Make sure again everything's all rosy in the garden over here. Rosy McGarden face. Now, we have a choice here. We can force a queen trade by coming in here. And if we do so, then we'll have two knights against their bishop. It's a possibility. I also feel just sort of safer in that regard. But I think we don't have to do that just yet. Okay, we'll keep that under lock and key here. Let's get a potential pin on this queen here. Pointer at the old king. That's fine. Take a pawn there. That's also fine. Okay, we're in good nick here, I think. This will win another pawn. At least one. We'll take that there. Let's just reduce down the game, I think. Now, we don't want to give them all our pawns, is the thing. We've also only got 1 minute left. Let's do this. Force them back. Okay, 47 seconds left. This is gonna be squeaky. What can I do to make you love me? Could have just moved that knight, but I'm a dummy. Okay, we've only got 20 seconds left. We can do this. I'm gonna get my king in there. Let's get her over here. Let's get her over here. Pre-move over here. Yeah, time is absolutely the factor. Okay. Okay, this is good. And that's checkmate. Ooh! 10 seconds left. Conk Pong, let's play a 10-minuter. Ooh, you're very highly rated, but I like it. Let's go for it. Okay, 1455, Conky Pompey. Let's see, you've gotten the better of me most times here. Let's throw out what we got. You might be watching the stream right now. Okay. Hey, bud. Okay. So, as we did see, time becomes a factor very, very quickly. So don't want to downplay that factor at all. Similar enough shaped game. It's a gioco pianissimo game. So, you know, there's that. Let's unbreak that pin. Okay, that's all right. Looking at him to make you gay. That was just a failed expedition. Just a little brief excursion for the old knight. And he's back where he's most comfortable. Under direct attack. So what could we have a look at here? Let's bust it open. This is one thing that happens with the Bishop's opening quite a lot, or the Gioco Pianissimo game. If your opponent takes this knight here, you can oftentimes get a nice little barrage here. They might be watching the stream right now. Conky Pompey, you might be watching the stream, and if you are, there's some insight of what I'm thinking. But alas. It's time for a sup of water. Yeah, so double casting this via Twitch. Just set up a Twitch account called Chess Please Twitch. Um, yeah, just there was a lot of hype. There was a lot of hype around the old Twitch, and I bought it. I bought the hype. I've watched a few chess players play on there. A few people just playing games. It's oddly soothing. Just watching somebody play a different game. PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, whatever you're having yourself. But sure, look, we'll give it a lash. We'll give it a few goes, and we'll see what occurs. Now I really want to take here, but that'd triple the out pawns. So that's not necessarily my back. I think this will be fine. Is it though? Is it fine, Andrew? That's probably okay. I think we'll do this. Fish. Bosh. Bosh. Yeah, no, that's good. That works for us. Okay, that was a pretty feisty exchange. It happened pretty quickly. We'll check it out very shortly, but essentially, it was pretty good for us, if I'm honest. Could have been a lot worse. Let's get the queen involved. Let's try and close the net on a very loyal viewer. Conky Pump. There's nothing new to make you love me. What can I do to make you care? Make you care. Now, I don't want to be too hasty here. I've thrown away much bigger leads than this. I'm okay with you resigning, bud. Oh. Thanks for that. Okay. I did on one after all the times he's beaten me. He says it's mate in a couple of moves. Is this one of those moves? That's mate. Thanks for the game, bud. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Good game indeed. Okay. Yeah, bullets definitely definitely a tasty one, alright. Again soon. Okay. I think I'm going to give it one more lash into a 10-minute game. Yeah, I think a 10-minute game. I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm feeling a little run down today, a little tired, so I haven't been as rowdy, as yee-haw as I would like. But to be honest, that's fine. Some days you're not going to have great days, and honestly, I was glad to get out on the court, play a few games of chess. I was working hard today. And these games, there's no better way to shut your mind off to everything else than to play a game of chess. One time I walked into a parked car. I think I mentioned that on the stream one time. Walked into a parked car while playing chess one time. It's yeah, it didn't move. It wasn't. It was just there, static on the street. This is a mistake, I think. Yep. That's probably alright. Oof, thank you. Okay, we definitely want to eye up this particular square. If this knight ever moves, I'm sinking my teeth into that square. What do I want to do here? I want a castle, I think. This pawn is a weakness. But this file looks very meaty for me. So what I think I'll do is reroute this knight. Essentially, I wanted to move this knight away to give me a chance to get this fella up so that I can bring my knight in here. Roundabout houses way, it was a gammy enough opening and we lost a good bit of time, I would say, by just mucking around. And this person's left their back door open. So it's kind of a case of, I mean, I'm happy to just do, I'm actually happy to just do this. That's a-okay too. We have our pieces in position. Yes, that's fine, mates. What can I do to make you love me? Yeah, I'll take that trade. Now, dangerous queen. Queen is in a fine spot here. And their king is in a fine spot of bother, if I do say so myself. Love me, love me. So much left to say. Only 1 point of material ahead though, and generally what that means is if you're launching an attack and there is, and you, well, like, we're in a much better position here, I think is probably fair to say. But that doesn't mean that we can get away with sort of willy-nilly play, because when we're only 1 point up in material, things can swing pretty quickly, particularly if you blunder away one of your attacking pieces or leave the back door open. So a number of reasons why we want to be cautious here. I might just throw a check at him. see how they deal with it. Again, no rush to move this knight. If this pawn jumps up, we just take the bishop, cut our losses there. Which is what's going to happen now, I think. Yeah, let's just take the losses. We have them on the ropes. They are in big trouble. Hmm. We'll do this. Probably been a bit slow here. They can maybe now get this fella into the game. And we've also opened up this file, so this certainly could have been cleaner, is what I'll say. But I think we're still alright. And let's see here now. We're under quite a threat here. And I like this. Love me, love. This. King is sort of wedged in here. I see a rook move in the future. Yeah, that's pretty fair. Let's do this straight away. Slowly eking out an advantage, but it's not quite killer yet. If we can force a traded queen, I wouldn't mind that. Eventually want to get my rook onto this file. Chances for mating here, but in general it's an open file near the king. Not gonna lick a gift horse in the mouth, mate. Lick a gift horse in the mouth, it sounded like I said. Maybe we'll do a queen trade now. Or maybe not, actually. Let's just spread the birch, I think. Sort of depends on what we think we can get away with. I like our chances up a queen and 3 pawns. I think it's the simplest way. Just reduce down, keep our king safe, keep these pawns safe, and pick off the rest. It's all good with me. It's a race now. I'd say rook there would be their best move, but I'm just gonna start pushing here, I think. Should be alright here. One of these 2 pawns maybe getting promoted if it goes the distance. Just sure it keeps probing for a little way through here. Basically, yeah, if they can get with their king here, if their rook finds a way to the back rank. Oh, they've disconnected from the server. 57 seconds left. No, they're back. If the rook can find a way to the back rank here with their king there, that's actually checkmate. But we're not gonna let that happen. There's no way to stop both of these guys. Don't see a way back for Crackshot here, unfortunately. It's not a bad effort, though. Let's just guarantee we end up with a queen. There we go. Feels like they're pre-moving now for some weird reason. Oh, checkmate. Nice. Nice work, everyone. Crackshot, I'm going to decline you there. I'm going to sign off tonight. Yeah, just a little sleepy. A little sleepy and under the weather. Let's have a quick look at the game. It all started to go wrong. They started to go absolutely bananas with their pawns. Now again, the engine might tell us a lot of different things about this. Start out. Queen's pawn opening. This was actually a mistake for ourselves. When we're set up like this, probably should have just taken the knight out here, because once they move the bishop here, then what happens is, if I don't do that, then which I didn't, brought this bishop out, this bishop will come crashing on in here, which it did. So they did their part of the task. I took back. Oh, chess.com is a little funky if you don't go by what happened. I took back with my bishop. So they took theirs, or I took back with the pawn. But now this fella has no defender. So that was the mistake. I think probably an inaccuracy, maybe a mistake. They could have taken with the knight. There might have been some sort of discovered attack with this bishop moving somewhere, but not before casting it anyway. So they could have banked that pawn and taken that to the bank, which is what banking means. But they didn't. They did this move, which again, not a great move. The F square. Later on, it actually ended up really weakening their king side and gave me time to just bring my knight out here, defend this piece. Also, I up this gorgeous square. So what this formation is known as is a backwards pawn. This is a backwards pawn. It's not defended by either of the pawns either side of it. Essentially, the square in front of a backwards pawn is a very safe place to be for your minor pieces, because it needs another minor piece to jimmy it out. No other pawn is going to come along and kick it out there. So this now starts to look very tempting, but can't move in there until this fella's defended, which is why you'll see we castled first, and then I think we can bring the rook across here to just solidify the control of this really weak file now, because they've moved this f pawn. This pawn is very, very weak, and it's a very central file to leave sort of open like that. They castle. We reroute this knight. We send it out wide. You don't really want your knights on the wing. No gas. They're more kind of David Silva type players. They work well in tight spaces, but not in open ones. And yeah, essentially we can just land our knight in here. And actually the move that they made here, this G pawn move with the king, also really weakening move. Like, the king is completely exposed, and it's actually for a pawn break as well, which is really just a very risky maneuver unless you have a devastating attack to follow it up with. We actually end up opening up this file for the queen, which ends up causing them all sorts of trouble. So we do that, jump in here with the knight, which again is this gorgeous outpost square for the knight. A bridge too soon, actually, now that I look at it. But yeah, this pawn hanging again. Knight doesn't take. We castle. Generally, you want your pawn chains to point towards where you're going to be attacking into. Again, just more likely of those bishops going to be biting on granite, as we talked about earlier. Knight takes in there. We take the trade. At this stage, I'm smelling blood. I'm seeing a lot of weaknesses in their position, particularly their king side. So we start to trade down. Queen comes in here, and then just some very compromising positions. Again, only one pawn in material difference, but yeah, just a lot of the time not moving where they wanted to move. Gives us time to actually lift this rook. So normally a rook lift, good attacking maneuver, but it takes like 3 moves probably to get your rook where you need it, to lift it out in front of these particular pieces. And because their king is in such dire straits, they don't have a huge amount of mobility. This bishop's crap. It's staring at the bottom of a pawn chain. Maybe could have gotten it out here earlier on, but would again taken too much time. And we ended up just trading off because that knight was under duress. It maybe could have found a better move for that knight. I hear we actually didn't play that accurately, I don't think. We just sort of checked the king, but I probably would have actually initiated this pawn break here. When we have this fella bring it hooshing forward. Well, maybe not actually. Anyway, it happened. Keep our queen safe, check the king, pin the rook. Pawn comes up, takes back. Here what I'm thinking is, if I get to take here for free, this rook actually won't be able to move, still pinned. They take care of that with the king moving away. Ooh, and we've jumped way forward again, but we weren't too far away. They take care of that with the king moving away. So then we just shore up. We don't let any kind of counterplay. So one devastating counter move may well have been queen in here, potentially on to here. Just knock that all on the head. This pawn move there. Rook comes across, good move. Get another piece into the game. Queen drops back. Double pressure on this pawn now. There's no way to save it. Or maybe that might have saved it, but it's a bit finicky. Queen rook coming across again, a good kind of saving throw here, just to put pressure on this pretty weak f pawn. But what I was thinking of with here, so again, this is pretty devastating. If they can crash in here, a lot of things can go wrong if your queen gets right up to the king supported like that. It's not quite mate. We have a couple of things we can do, but it definitely puts us on the back foot. Rook taking here means a couple of things. It means that if the queen does crash in here, then we can take back. Or actually, yeah, we can take back. So then we'd be a queen ahead. If their rook takes here, we take here first, an in-between move, put them in check, their rook here, and we actually end up winning a rook on top of the queen and rook exchange. Pretty curlicue, didn't happen. And if they ended up taking here, we just take back with the queen, and that's check. Pretty curlicue, pretty nonsensy, but they just took with the rook anyway. They take here, which is check, which is why they can't do this right now, which is handy for us. They do check. We just secure this up. It's kind of a slower part of the game now. Rook comes across. Queen takes this pawn here with check. Again, very powerful thing if you can take somebody with check. And then at this stage, I think my plan here was to get the king into either this square or this square by lifting one of these pawns, bring my rook across to this open file, and eventually launch an attack down the king side here. I think this was the first move in that sequence. Queen comes across here, and at this stage I'm just thinking I've 3 more pawns first and foremost. Also got kind of just a better, more advanced pawn structure here as well. It's right into their territory. So I forced a queen trade here. Didn't have to do that. Could have probably won a little bit quicker if I didn't, but forced the queen trade here, by which I mean they can either move their king out of check if they like, in which case I'll take here, and you know, they'd be mad not to move there, or they can just take with the queen, and then I can take back here, which is what happened. Do that. King moves up. That's probably actually a mistake as well. They had a nice bit of counterplay here, but what this means is I can move my rook up here like I did, which is check. No time to save this fella. They could have theoretically moved the king towards here, or they might have just been able to defend it a little bit better, or even if they kept the king where it was, they had a couple of different options anyway. Didn't avail of them, and we ended up just mopping up a couple of pawns. I was kind of scared, to be honest. I thought I might have definitely blundered easier, bigger wins in this. And kind of positions like this where they just get their king in the right place. There's no real place for our king to go. Maybe could have got him up the board a bit quicker, but alternatively we can just keep this rook locked back here, and it's not really going to do much damage. Kept kind of probing away, trying to find gaps in the defenses to eventually get down here, which would have been mate, but we had enough to stop it. And in general, 2 pawns against a rook at a certain advanced stage, and certainly with some defense, not going to be able to stop it. And then here queen is check, and also takes the rook. Rook takes, we can take with the pawn to get us another rook, or another queen even. And then this actually happens to be checkmate because of this little pawn here, and then obviously no go here, here. So decent game, good fun. Thank you very much, Crackshot. We end up in the 1462 bracket, which is right up there. I think we were slightly higher earlier in the week, but definitely right up there with the highest we've ever been. So all in all, we'll take that. We'll take that as a big win. Thanks for stopping by. If you're watching this in the future and you're enjoying it, smash that subscribe button or follow if you're watching on Twitch for the first time. Trying it out. Went okay. Probably wasn't as in control of either stream, but it's all a lot of fun. So look, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, folks. It's been a pleasure. And as always, keep playing chess every day of your life because it's a lot of fun. You'll have a great time with it. And how on earth do I turn it off now? Probably like this. Alright. Goodbye, folks. Chess, please.